Good morning, I'm Rowena Crosby.
And I'm Deborah Renner, and we're your co-hosts for this show. Thank you for joining us for the next 17 minutes for your IT show. Nope, we're not talking information technology. We're talking Your Invisible Toolbox, the show that examines the tools essential for working effectively with others.
We thank those of you who are returning viewers, and we welcome new viewers to this program. This program's been pre-recorded, and you can probably see we're off-site. We're not in the studio today. Several members of the Tero team have come together for a strategic planning retreat. We're going to give you a little bit of a glimpse into that event today. Long-term planning is something that all of us should do, both personally and professionally. And one of the key elements in helping us be successful with long-term planning and following through is the focus of our show today.
And for those of you following along in our book, Your Invisible Toolbox, we're on chapter 94, Are You a Morning Person?
And our tool is going to prepare you for the long term. It's going to encourage you to look inward at your most deeply held beliefs and see if they're helping you or see if they're holding you back. We're also going to share some useful resources to help you in reaching your potential.
And our development challenge will challenge you to challenge some of those deeply held beliefs that you have.
So beliefs are things that we believe to be true. So do you believe you're a morning person? Or are you a night owl? Are you a morning person today, Deb?
Not today, because we had great conversations late into the night last night.
But most of the time, I think
Yes.
we think we're morning people. What you believe about yourself, morning person or night owl, actually impacts how you behave during those times of the day. So our beliefs are formed throughout our lifetime, and like habits, they're kind of hard to change because we've repeated our beliefs over many, many years.
Yes, and many people think they're born with their beliefs, but that's not true. Our beliefs are formed through lifelong conditioning, and we actually learn our beliefs, and they can be unlearned, and that's good news for all of us.
That is good news, and insights into what our core beliefs are help us understand why we behave the way we do in certain situations. And these beliefs can help us, or they can limit our potential.
Well, and this is also true in organizations. Just like people, organizations have belief systems, and so they create the culture of our companies. Organizational beliefs are the beliefs that are shared by the people that we work with.
And so just like we can reach our own, we've got Mother Nature flying around here, just like we can reach our own potential by understanding our beliefs, we can do that inside our organizations as well. And that's what we came together today and this week as a team at Tero as part of this planning retreat, is really to examine what those beliefs are we have about the organization. And that's what we encourage you to do as part of your professional development this week.
So it's time to look at our invisible tool of the week. And our invisible tool this week is challenge your beliefs.
So according to Greek mythology, Pygmalion sculpted a statue of a beautiful woman, and he fell in love with this statue and prayed to the gods that it become real. The statue's name was Galatea, and Pygmalion's wish was granted, and Galatea the statue became a real woman. The Pygmalion effect states that people respond to how they're treated.
Yes, and the Galatea effect illustrates the power of self-expectations and self-esteem. It states that an individual's belief about their performance will actually impact their performance. So if we believe we're going to succeed, we'll succeed. If we believe we're going to fail, we'll fail. When others hold negative expectations of us, we can actually overcome those expectations by holding higher expectations of ourselves.
And that's where the rags to riches stories happen.
Yes.
So our thoughts become our beliefs become our behaviors, and our behaviors are what impact our ultimate performance. So what do you believe about yourself? What do you believe about your potential? And how are those beliefs impacting your performance?
And what do you believe about the members of your team? And what does your leadership believe about the organization? How are these beliefs, both from your team or from your leadership, affecting the success of your organization?
And when we challenge our beliefs, we can affirm the ones that we know are helping us, and we can make choices to change the ones that aren't helping us. And that allows us to trigger the power of the Galatea effect, and that's a powerful method for being able to impact our ultimate performance and success.
It is. Well, now it's time to take a look at our social media posts for the week. If you follow Tero on social media, you know that we post relevant content several times every day on interpersonal skills. We're going to feature 2 of those posts right now. We've all seen the power of self-fulfilling prophecies, and Carolyn Kaufman talks about using self-fulfilling prophecies to your advantage in an article published by Psychology Today. You'll find this link on all Tero social media platforms today.
And our second featured post is to a TED Talk, and it is a great investment this week of 11.5 minutes. It's a very personal talk. The person's name is Isaac Lidsky, and he challenges us to let go of our excuses, our assumptions, and our fears, and to accept the awesome responsibility of actually creating our own reality. And it's wonderful. You haven't seen it yet. We'll have to look at it with the team today. So you'll find that link on all Tero social media platforms on Wednesday. Well, now we're going to move into the segment of the program we call Your Development Challenge. And this is where we challenge you to challenge your own habits and try something new. Today we're going to look at a method for changing our beliefs, and we're going to use a very common example of something that most of us want to see happen in our lives. You can use the same approach to change your beliefs about anything that may be limiting your potential.
So our example is the goal of getting in better physical shape. We've all wanted to do that.
We all have that wish.
All right, so the beliefs you have about yourself can drive your long-term behavior. Maybe you can trick yourself into working out or eating healthy for a while, but if we don't shift our beliefs about ourselves, we actually won't stick with those behaviors for the long term.
Exactly. And when setting goals, most of us just focus exclusively on the end point. So we say things like, oh, I want to lose 20 pounds, or I want to be swimsuit ready for the cruise, or I need to be able to fit in that outfit by the wedding, or in your case, your high school reunion.
Well, before any of these goals can be achieved, we have to first believe they're possible. That's why it's important to examine our beliefs when we're doing long-term planning, like we're doing here. We're taking a look at beliefs about the organization of Tero International. If you change the beliefs, then it's easier to change your behavior.
So how do we change our beliefs to make it easier to stick with that new set of behaviors that's actually going to lead us to achieving our goals?
I like this formula. It's a paradox. We actually imprint the belief system by just doing small behaviors.
Right, it's
every
kind of
day.
the reverse.
Yes. For example, if you have a goal of getting into better physical shape, make a decision to work out every single day. Now, you don't have to work out a lot. You might just say, I'm going to work out for 2 minutes. But if you do it consistently every single day, you begin to change your habits, and that begins to change how we feel about ourselves.
And the opposite is true as well, and most of us have found that's true. That's how we acquire bad habits, and it's these small behaviors repeated over time that lead to these habits we have that are difficult to change.
Well, we would love to hear your success. What if we mess up though, Ro? What if we mess up? Are we stuck if let's say we don't work out on a day, or we let a week go by? Are we stuck?
Yeah, and the goal isn't to be perfect. It's just to get it right more times than we get it wrong. So if you can work out 4 days out of the next 7, then you're winning. And maybe the following week it might be 5 days out of 7. As long as the math is working for you and you're repeating those behaviors, you're moving yourself in the positive direction to actually changing your beliefs and achieving your goals.
Well, we hope you'll take this development challenge, and we hope you'll share with us if you do. If you decide to make a small, consistent behavior part of your daily routine, let us know at ideas@yourinvisibletooolbox.com what that is and how that's going for you, or on our social media platforms. Well, now we're at the segment that we call Put It in Perspective. And we are sitting here at Ro's beautiful lake home in Lake of the Ozarks, Sunrise Beach, Missouri, and we are joined by some team members who are going to give us their perspective.
Absolutely, and you're probably also being joined by some of the boats around us too, which is kind of fun. Hopefully it's not messing with our sound here. So we've asked the members of the Tero team who've come together for this planning retreat to share their perspective. We're joined by Ann Block. She's our Vice President of Client Relations. We've also been joined by Kyle Plummer, who's our cameraman, as you know, and he's also the person responsible for Client Relations and Marketing at Tero, and Becky Rupiper Green, Senior Trainer and Image Consultant for Tero.
So we're excited to hear from them about a belief they might have held that either helped them or maybe held them back.
As we've talked about belief systems and what we've held as deep beliefs the last day or two here at the retreat. It's really made me realize and look back at some things with how I was raised in a small town with 2 traditional parents and 2 brothers. And we were all really very modest and very humble in the way that we interacted with others. And we didn't want to draw a lot of attention to ourselves. And as I've gotten older and I look at the people that I admire, I see that it really comes in all shapes and sizes now in our world, and that it's important that we do draw a little attention to ourselves, because that's what makes us be the best we can be. And we do that now through social media and through our interactions on all the various devices that come with that, Twitter and Facebook. And it's okay to do those things to bring out some attention to ourselves, because we're all doing the best that we can and trying to be the best person that we can be.
So growing up, some people might know actually on here, I'm from Minnesota, and the term Minnesota nice is a real thing. It's something that I grew up with, that my parents exemplified, and that really fed into this idea of being a people pleaser, which to me at the time it felt like it was something productive. But as I got older, I realized that it was actually harming who I was, and I always tried to adapt to the people that I surrounded myself with. Whoever I was with, I tried to really endorse their opinions and their beliefs and their behaviors, and I wasn't really being me. And I always look at it as a spectrum, so I never wanted to be too far on one side where I was pleasing everybody and I was always adapting to who they wanted me to be, and then the other end, I didn't want to anger people, I didn't want to upset people. And so I wanted to still be nice, but still stuck to my guns, stuck to what I believed in my opinions, and stand by who I was. And the second I started doing that, I felt that I became my own person. So I've always tried to find that balance between pleasing people, but not being overly adaptive to who they are, but still try to understand their side.
Growing up, I had a belief system that girls aren't good at math. Boys are, but girls aren't good at math. And I used that as a crutch my whole life. And then I had kids. And first it was my son, and since he was a boy, he was good at math, of course, and I encouraged him to be. But then I had a daughter, and I didn't encourage her to be good at math because girls aren't good at math. And then on her first day of 2nd grade, she met her teacher, who said, "You're Lucas's little sister? I bet you're really good at math." My daughter stood up and said, "Yes, I am." And that was an aha moment for me. I had a limiting belief system that I was imprinting my daughter with. Unfortunately, she had an advocate in that teacher, and she's still an excellent math student. And I think at work, it's really important that we have advocates as well. People who will encourage us, will support us, and potentially challenge a belief system that might be limiting too. Find that advocate, and then be that advocate for a colleague at work as well. And to all those teachers out there, thank you for being those belief builders. And there's no math that can calculate the impact that you're having.
Thanks for joining us today. If you missed any portion of the program, or if you'd like to share it with others, you'll find the entire program loaded up to Tero's YouTube channel. Join us again next Monday at 9:03 Central Time, where we're going to examine another tool in your Invisible Toolbox.
And now it's your turn. We welcome your feedback and your suggestions for future shows. What team interactions, what leadership situations would you like to see us address? You can send your ideas to ideas@yourinvisibletooolbox.com, and we will incorporate those in future shows. And remember to follow us on your favorite social media platform, and we're now on Instagram as well at Your Invisible Toolbox. And if you haven't subscribed to Tero's YouTube channel, please subscribe at the link below, and you'll be alerted to when future shows are going to air. And we would love to thank right now our outdoor cameraman and director, Kyle Plummer.
This is the first show I think we filmed that hasn't been in the studio, so that's a lot of fun. Well, before we sign off, we do want to leave you with one additional thought. You know, sometimes we need a bit of an attitude check. A lot of people have a bad or a neutral attitude. So try this little experiment this week. When you ask someone how they are, That's a throwaway question. Actually listen to the answer. And some of the things you might hear are fine, okay, good, lousy, tired. And sometimes you can't even make out the answer because it's a little bit of a mumbled answer. Even worse, we often hear people that will link how they feel with the weather or the day of the week. So you'll find people that say, well, not bad for a Monday, or pretty good because it's Friday. Or they'll talk about, you know, it's a sunny day, so of course you're going to be good. Or if it's raining, they think that's going to affect their attitude. How often do you hear people, other than tarot facilitators, that answer the question, how are you, by saying, awesome, outstanding, incredible? There's a lot of truth in the saying, if you act enthusiastic, you will become enthusiastic. So coach yourself this week to behave positively. Affirm a new positive attitude. Ultimately, we become the people that we're behaving like, and then we actually start to believe it. We'd like to thank all the members of the Tero team who have joined us. We thank you for tuning in, and that's a wrap.